You're watching Let's Chat.
We're glad to have you back with us here on Let's Chat. It is time for a few minutes with State Senator Bo Watson. We're going to cover a number of topics here, including a big literacy summit that you are sponsoring that's coming up. Let's see, this weekend, right?
Next week.
Next week.
September 9th.
Tell me, how are you putting this together? I think the answer is pretty self-evident, but I want to hear it from you.
Well, and I get pretty passionate about this. So, look, since the 50s, we have been talking about reading and literacy in this country, in this state. And we've done a lot of different things, tried a lot of different things, but nothing has really moved the needle. The pandemic has only heightened that problem.
Right.
Last year, the General Assembly, the House and the Senate went in, had a special session on learning loss, and one of the big things that came out of that was we've got to come up with a better way of teaching reading and teaching literacy. We've elected to use the phonetic strategy, which has long been shown scientifically to be the best and most effective way to teach reading. And so I want to pull together all those folks in Chattanooga who are doing great work around reading and have a real conversation about how do we move forward in our community.
Why do you think it is that our students are not reading at their proper grade level, and our literacy rate is kind of down compared to a good part of the country?
Yeah, there are a lot of reasons for that.
If you could knock one off the table now, what would it be?
The one I would knock off the table right now is the way we teach our teachers how to teach reading. In my world, education has one fundamental responsibility to the student, and that is to teach them how to read. Because if a person can read, they can teach themselves virtually everything else, and education then becomes supplemental to their reading skills. And honestly, Chip, at our higher education levels, we have not done a good job at teaching teachers how to read. The state this year invested millions of dollars in teaching teachers new reading strategies. Our higher education programs should be doing that. We pay for them to do that. And so I think that's one thing I'm really going to push. That would be one thing that I could say if we made a huge change there or improvement there, we would make a difference locally.
Obviously, early childhood literacy is so very important, and reading, and I hate to say it, is something many of us just take for granted, but there are youngsters and there are adults who really have a genuine struggle when it comes to comprehending what they're seeing on the paper.
Well, look at it this way. If you walk down Broad Street and you pass 10 Tennesseans, 7 of those will not be reading at grade level.
Really? I had no idea the rates were that high.
Yeah, so if you look at recent test results, I'll use easy numbers. About 30% of our third graders read at grade level. By the 8th grade, about 27% of our 8th graders read at grade level. And the main reason kids drop out of school is they just get so far behind because they can't keep up reading, and they get so far behind that it becomes useless to them.
And my mom used to tell me years ago, you can take a trip anywhere in the world as long as you can read. And I've been a lifelong reader since I was a kid. And it's something that we want to encourage you to get involved with. Tell us who's going to be speaking at this literacy summit.
Well, first of all, this isn't a lecture. This is really
Understood.
a sit down around the table. Let's learn what everyone in the community is doing and how we can connect all of these assets. Obviously, Commissioner Schwinn, Penny Schwinn, who runs the Tennessee's Department of Education, is responsible for our structured reading program. She will be here. And then a myriad of individuals from across the area who represent different nonprofit and other types of programs that are teaching reading. Anybody that's involved in reading, I would love for them to attend this because we really need to have a heart-to-heart conversation.
Is this something we need to make reservations for, or can we just show up?
It's best to RSVP. I think Waterhouse Public Relations is handling most of that for me.
Right.
You can go to their website and sign up there.
And that website is on your screen, waterhousepr.com. It's waterhousepr.com. And again, it's coming up September the 8th from 9 until 11. And I would imagine there's going to be a few folks sticking around for a little bit longer after that to perhaps answer some questions privately, if you will.
Sure. And let me just say, look, this is a very heavy lift. And I can't fix everything across the United States, But I think Hamilton County can fix Hamilton County. We just all need to put our oars in the water and be rowing in the same direction.
I would say you're absolutely right. On a totally unrelated note, thank you for getting rid of this wheel tax, the emissions tax that we've been paying in Hamilton County. This is something that you, along with the late, great Mike Carter, have been working on for how long? How many years?
Yeah, so I was first elected, first went into office in 2005, and I've been working with various members along the way to get this thing eliminated. And finally, Mike Carter and I teamed up about 4 years ago, and it took us, we passed the bill 4 years ago. It took us 4 years to get the federal side of this done, and as y'all have reported, in August, the federal government repealed the emissions testing, and so there's a waiting period. So I think it's January 14th of 2022. We're all
testing.
free. It's been a great, it's been a great thing.
Senator Bo Watson, we got to run. You're welcome to come back anytime. Thanks for your work in improving literacy and in getting rid of the emissions test.
You're welcome.
We'll be right back after this. Nice job.
Good.